I'm gonna cut this out anyway.
See, told you.
No, cut nonsense out. All right, let's pray. Father God, we truly thank you for this day, Lord God. We thank you for bringing us here, Lord God, so we can hear your word, and we just want to learn about blame, how destructive it is, and Lord, just keep our hearts, Lord, and protect us from all evil, and so that we may serve you more effectively. Thank you for all you have done. And pray all this in the name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen.
All right, so today we're going to learn about the evil power of blame. And something that we do a lot. So let's read Ephesians chapter 4, verse 31 to 32. All right, we're going to read that.
So, and
Get disciple. I got a real Bible.
the last two verses of chapter 1.
Somebody sounds conceited.
My ego's in my way.
Dylan.
Oh, was Dylan? Oh, my bad.
All right, you guys all found it?
Yes.
All right, let's read it together. Ready? Dylan's still looking. Everybody found it? All right, so everybody other than Dylan found it. All right, here we go. Ready? Begin. Get rid of all bitterness, rage, and anger, brawling and slander, along with every form of malice. Be kind and compassionate to one another. Forgive each other, just as Christ, God, forgave you. Amen. So, have you ever blamed others about your negative situations? Oh, yeah. All the time, sometimes. All the time. Ah, dang.
Just did it today.
Yeah, we do that quite often. More than you think.
It was Dylan.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But it's so easy to do that, though, right? Like, yeah, and I go, I don't know, he probably did it. That's blame, right? You may not even know, and we just assume that person did it. That's a blame. We blame if things doesn't go right, and say, "Well, that's the blame." Right? If things go right, you take all the credit. And then if things goes wrong, everybody else gets the blame, right? When I watch football, if the team suck, it's team to blame, right? when team wins, man, it's my win. Like I won. It almost feels like that. So I looked into the psychology of blame. And blame in psychology is defined as assigning responsibility for the fault or wrong. So it's assigning our blame or something that went wrong towards somebody else. Okay? So why do we blame? Well, according to psychology, it says to escape from guilt. So we blame because we feel guilty. Therefore, we're giving the guilt to somebody else.
Makes us feel better.
Yeah, it makes us feel better. It really doesn't, buddy.
Huh?
For the moment, for momentarily, yeah. Yes, it does. So to escape from it. The second reason we use blame is to use it as when we feel defensive. Like when we feel trapped or cornered, that's when we assign blame to somebody else. Or something else. So like, you're supposed to be part of a team, right? And let's say it's soccer, and you're the person is supposed to score a goal, right? And you're like dashing, and the teammate passed the perfect pass, and you kicked it, and then you botched it, and you're like, oh my leg. Oh, it was my leg. Oh, it wasn't me. It was my leg. Yeah, crap. Oh, I pulled something. That's how we blame, right? When we feel kind of cornered or did something wrong. We use blame to avoiding consequences. So something that we have done wrong. And we're about to take on the blame for that. The consequence is about to come. We use blame to kind of avoid that consequences. Right? So let's say you didn't pay your credit card bill. Then They're like, oh no. So, oh no, like, oh, what happened? Blah, blah, blah. And then, then what we do is, oh, I didn't get paid. Even though you did. They're like, oh, you blame something else. Oh, yeah. My reason for not having this is the consequences that I should be having, I can't do because of X, Y, and Z. Okay? It's basically blame is refusing responsibility, according to psychology. So I looked at the how do we stop blaming, and of course, and what they said is that number one, they said stop unhelpful thinking pattern. So apparently, human beings have certain pattern of behaviors that we continue to do, right? And so if you do enough blaming other people or other thing or other situations, it becomes like a habit. So it becomes a pattern of my life. So even though I don't really need to blame others or blame something else, we just habitually do it anyway, right? Oh, well, why does your house look like that? Oh, it's because of that. Right? Oh, it's because of my stupid cat.
It's Noah.
It's Noah.
It's always done.
It's always messy.
Right? So we could, according to the psychologist that wrote the article, it says, in order to help stop blame, you got to stop unhelpful thinking pattern, which is stop bad behavior patterns or habits. Second thing they say that you could do is change how you view mistakes. So if we look at mistakes as something of so negative that it brings negative consequences, then we tend to blame more. We do blame games a lot. But when you stop thinking that mistakes as something that is so punishable to you, then it becomes more like, hey, it could be like a learning, like a learning opportunity. Then mistake won't be so as bad, and so you do less of blaming. And then of course they say go see a therapist. So obviously that's what psychologists do. All right. So let's take a look at more biblically. Blame can be easy way for us to get out of sticky situation, right? So the classic example in the Bible playing the blame game is Adam and Eve. And technically snake. Right? So we know the story, right? We know how it went. So snake comes to Eve, right? And then Eve falls for the snake's, charm, and then the flattery and the words. She falls for it. And then once she falls for it, she gives it to her husband, which is Adam. And then Adam sins, right? And then when God finds out, what was the response? So God goes to who first? Adam. And what did he say? Hey, did you eat the fruit of the knowledge of good and evil? And he's like, well, I ate it because why? Hey, right there, she gave it to me.
When Dylan gives me food.
Right? She gave it to me. And then God went to Eve and said, hey, why did you eat? What did she say?
He gave it to me.
Hey, snake said I could eat it. So she blamed, Adam blamed Eve, Eve blamed snake. Right?
I always blamed it on the women, like when I went to jail. Every single time. God, that woman, every time it's the woman's fault. They get jealous, then they make up some story about me, and then I'm back in jail.
So basically you see the pattern, right? Blame. So what is the consequences of their blame?
Death.
Punishment. Alright? So blame, equals sin, and sin equals punishment. So that's the pattern we see with blame. Blame is not just innocent thing that we just do to escape, like psychology would explain it. It's more inherently evil. It's the way we try to escape our original sin. So it's like you got mud on your face, and then you just whatever mud you have, you're just like, oh, I try to smear it at somebody else, and that's you too, right? But problem is, I still have mud on my face. I have the sin, right? So I committed a sin, but we try to toss that sin to somebody else. And then by doing that, we feel blameless, right? Like, all right, I give it to you, so therefore, hey, I'm clean. Now it's your fault, right? The word, the term scapegoat came from Israel tradition, where the town or village would once a year grab a goat, put all their sin onto the goat, and blame the goat, and will kick it out of the town. Say bye, and then goat will go away, and then blame the goat. But really, that doesn't work, does it? Because who is the originator of that blame? Me, right? I did it. I'm the one who started all this, and then I try to toss it to somebody else, and then by doing that, at least I'm gonna feel better about it. I'm gonna be somehow wash my hand of it, right? Another good example of that is Pontius Pilate. He literally washed his hands to say what? At the trial of Jesus.
I have no part in killing.
Yep. Oh, they ain't me. I didn't do it. It ain't me. Okay, it's on you now. So he literally tossed that onto the Israelites and say, hey, it's your fault now. I don't want any part of this. I'm clean. But is he really clean though?
Does he have the power to stop them?
Yeah. He had the power to really stop it from happening, but he didn't. He just didn't want the blame. Right? He allowed it to happen. It continued to go on, and then later on, what's end up happening is we toss the blame to somebody else, but it comes back double, if not worse. Okay? You really have to understand, just because you just toss the blame to somebody else, it doesn't mean that it goes away. It doesn't go away. It comes back to you tenfold, if not more. It becomes even worse than before. Look how this blame game ended up being. Adam and Eve and snake, right? Their blame caused even the bigger punishment. If Adam and Eve took on the responsibility, let's just say, hey, why did you eat? Hey, I just got tricked. It's my fault. I'm sorry. Can you forgive me? I say God would have forgiven them. I truly believe God would have forgiven them. But instead, they said, no, it ain't my fault. Adam said, no, it's not her fault. And then she's like, well, it's not my fault. It's his fault. Right?
You might have let us live forever.
Yeah.
He might have given us eternity.
But problem is, the blame, it doesn't go away. It comes back. We have to understand that part. The blame game always leaves losers to who started it. But that's not the only part. That's not the only crazy part. Is that it spreads. let's say Eve took it, didn't give it to Adam, the fruit of you, right? Then what would happen? Who will be punished?
Just Eve.
Just Eve.
But then she'd have kids, and then she'd still probably give the genetic.
Well, I mean, she can't have a kid by herself,
Yeah.
right? If she would have just said, okay, God, it's my fault. I'm sorry. This will never happen again. I take the blame. That would have been it. But instead, she just like gave it to Adam. Adam took it. You know,
She didn't want to be the only one in trouble.
yeah. Okay. We're in this together. Let's go.
It's kind of how when people are on drugs, it's like they feel better if they, that way they don't feel so dirty. Like if I get someone to get high with me.
Well, sharing is caring, right? but sharing blame, eventually, everyone who gets involved in that blame will be punished because of it. Because we're essentially tainting ourselves with sin by blaming others. Because if I toss it to Chung, Chung's not gonna go, oh, okay, it ends with me. No, it was like, no. Right? So it doesn't stay one thing. It keeps going. And that's the dangerous part that's the evil power of blame, is that it spreads. And it grows, and it makes it worse. Blame is easy way to path of evil. And you really need to think about that. Look, another example is Aaron. When Aaron was in the desert with Israelites and Moses was on the Mount Ararat, right? So they were gone. He was gone for 40 days and 40 nights. So what? Do you guys remember what happened?
Everyone started blaming Moses and Aaron for getting them out of Egypt.
They started to do that, but what did they start to do? They started to freak out.
Yeah.
Why?
Because they didn't know they were going to have food or water
No.
or the promised land.
They thought that
Moses is dead. And not only that, God has abandoned them. God abandoned us. We don't see Moses. We're not hearing from God. What do? We need to find another God. So what was another God? The golden calf. But look at here. So the Israelites like, hey, we need another God. Hey, what are you doing, Aaron? What are you going to do about it, Aaron? Hey, everybody's freaking out. And Aaron, what Aaron do? No, like, okay, what do you guys want? Like, we need to let's make a golden calf because that's what we learned at Egypt. I'm like, it was like, okay, we'll do whatever, not me. And then they melted the gold, made a golden calf, and they start sacrificing live people in it, right? And so Moses comes down, see this whole thing. What was his reaction?
Anger.
What the heck? He broke the 10 commandments. He broke the tablet, right? And then he said, okay, whose fault is it? He probably went to Aaron. Hey, Aaron, what happened? They did it, man. They went crazy. They were about to kill me. I don't know what to do. I just let them do whatever they wanted. I didn't want to die. Right? But if Moses was there instead of Aaron, what would have happened? Reassure them, or he probably went to God, right? He probably went to God and said, hey, guys, give me a minute. Let me pray to God. Right? But instead, he didn't do anything. He just blamed the Israelites. So that's how the blame works. Aaron is just as guilty as Israelites who melted their gold to create the golden calf. He's just as guilty. But he said, oh, no, not me. It wasn't me. It's them. But that's the evilness of the blame. Blame takes us away from our we believe that by blaming other people, or other things or other whatever, we are removed from sin. But that's not true. We are just as tainted, if not more. Blame takes us away from our responsibility and to our actions. It makes us lazy. I mean, you have to know that when you start blaming other things on other people, we become lazy. We don't go to God anymore. This is how it works. This is how we spiritually become lazy. So it starts with what? It starts with me, right? Then I commit a sin. The problem is I use blame, right, to get rid of sin. But problem is blame is like it's a trap, like a quicksand, right? So you fall into sin, but in the beginning part of that blame, you feel guilty. You feel guilty a bit, like, oh, maybe I shouldn't do that anymore. Oh, maybe next time I won't blame. Next time I won't do this. Blah 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 blah. Sin, all bad, yeah, blah blah blah. And then you keep doing it because it's convenient for you. You feel better about yourself. Oh yeah, oh no, it's not my fault. Oh no, I slept with this girl, but you know, it wasn't me, it was her. Oh, and I stole this, but it wasn't me. I was there, And then you get used to sin, and so the quicksand is not. You don't fall in, right? What happened? How does that quicksand work? Slow, but surely you fall. Same thing. We get used to sin. You quicksand into sin, and you get used to the sin. Instead of going to God and say, God, I'm sorry, I can't, I didn't know what I was thinking. But you get used to sin, and just start blaming other people for it. Say, oh no, it wasn't me, God. Oh, yeah, it was there, I mean, how can you say no to that?
That's a small permission too.
No, you allow yourself to be that. You just blame other things or other people for your faults. And then so you get used to that. You get lazy. Every time you sin, you say, no, it wasn't me, but it was that or this or that. And then so you're so surround yourself with sin that later on you don't even feel guilty anymore about sinning. You just immediately reaction is what when we talked about psychology, what did it say? It becomes a habit, right? So it becomes a habit for you to say, oh no, it wasn't me. Oh no. Why didn't you come to church? Oh, I wasn't feeling well. Oh, I was kind of busy that day. Oh, this or that. And then just comfortable not coming to church. Not comfortable not going to God, comfortable not praising God, comfortable not reading the scripture. And so that's how the blame sucks you into the sin. It's a pathway to sin. Blame is a pathway to sin. But you don't immediately realize that. You just continue to use it because it's convenient. Oh yeah. No. I blame this. I blame that. Oh, it's not my fault. It's my situation. This is that. Oh, and then you're just surround yourself with sin, and you can't even see your way out anymore.
It's like you put in more sin after another sin to get that satisfaction, to feel good. And then it's like more. Oh, no, I'm doing another sin. This one to cover this sin. Another sin to cover this sin.
Pretty much, you don't know it's sin no more. You don't know. You don't even see it. You're blinded by it.
Yeah. The scary part of that is, after a while, sin is not a sin anymore. You justify it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, that's what every Christians do.
What do you mean? I can't slam meth.
Oh, you mean?
There's nothing wrong with that.
What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? That's not good. Well, I mean, everybody does it.
Even a child molester probably doesn't even think that molesting children is that bad after a while.
Yeah, it's like
Know that?
So don't
No, that what they do is
Well,
they
yeah,
justify.
they're fine.
Yeah, they justify it.
Oh, because it's my childhood, my past trauma.
Well, not just that. it's
I don't
just
know.
you
No,
look
they'll
at
find
the
all sorts of
No,
stuff.
they're what their excuse now they're using is
sexual
well,
preference.
no, it's not that. It's just like, well, this is who I am.
Yes.
I'm just attracted to young kids.
No, that's just good.
What can I do? I was born this way,
No, you weren't.
right? That's what they're saying.
They
I
don't
was,
know it. They can't see it.
yeah, I'm born this way. I didn't ask for this. I'm just attracted to babies. Hey, it's not me.
They're cute, but it's not like that.
Yeah, it's not me. It's how I was born.
And then the one that everybody has that they don't see is the selfishness one. Yeah, nobody sees that they're selfish. I see it in myself. I see it in everybody. I don't really see anybody that's not selfish, really.
So
There's nobody. I don't care how old you are. I see something selfish in you, and it'll cause you to sin.
So let me show you how blame brings relationship to brokenness. Here's the thing. And that, I say it's blame is an evil power because first of all we don't realize how evil it is or how powerful it is, and the second thing is we use it all the time, right? So here's me, here's my partner, and then I have kids. When we start to use blame in relationship, I blame you. Oh, why is this house looking like garbage? Oh, why didn't you prepare a meal when I got here? Why is my kids like this? And then I blame my wife for it. And I work hard. I bring the bread to this family. What are you doing? All you're doing is sit home, do nothing, eating bonbons. Well, I can't believe it. Blah blah blah. Blame, blame, blame. And the wife is not gonna take it, obviously,
Yeah, no.
right?
Yeah.
No, it's like, oh, I'm sorry, husband. No, it's like, what?
Should start blaming back.
What? Yeah. Like, what do you mean? I'm taking care of the kids. I'm cooking. I'm cleaning. I'm doing all this stuff. I'm busy. What do you think I'm doing all day? You know? Have you helped me wash dishes? Have you cooked a meal? 1 or 2 meals, maybe? You know? Take out garbage? What? You come home, you do nothing. You just sit there. You give me excuses. I'm tired. I worked all day. What do you think I did? I don't get a break. You get a break. I don't even get a break. Blame, 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 blame. And then problem is the communication is what?
Gone.
Broken.
No.
Sure, it's not similar like that.
Yeah, it's not a communication anymore. What is that?
It's resentment.
Resentment, hatred, right?
Confrontation.
So let's go back to the Ephesians chapter 4, verse 31, verse 32. What did it say?
Be kind and compassionate to one
No,
another.
no, no. Read for verse 31.
Oh, then what?
Get
Okay.
rid of all bitterness, rage, and anger, brawling, and slander.
Oh, gee, have you heard of this in a relationship before? Bitterness? Yeah, rage? Sure. Anger? Sure. Brawling? Sometimes. Slander? You're son of a, yeah. Along with every form of malice.
And it'll cause you to gossip with other people too.
And then you know, let's put sin under the category of blame, right? So you're giving each other sin, but it doesn't end here, right? Who do they have? Kids. Oh, you know what? Guess what?
Take it out of them.
What are they getting? Blame. Right?
And it's a constant again.
So if children hears parents argue about how house is not clean because of children, who are they blaming now?
Each other.
No,
No.
blaming the children. I'm tired. So what did wife say? I'm tired because of what?
Kids.
I'm taking care of the kids. Husband is blaming wife. Why is kids like that?
And
Yeah.
then kids don't know any better, and they'll start really believing that they're bad and it's their fault.
Yeah, and they take on the sin.
You know?
They learn how to blame. They learn how to sin by blaming other people. They'll learn how to blame other people for their mistakes. They will not want to take on, oh, it's my fault. Oh no, I should do better. I am sorry. None of that happens. All they do is receive all of them, all the parents blaming each other's sin, malice, bitterness, rage, anger. Guess where they're going? To the children. And as they grow, guess what? What are they giving back to the parents?
It's like, oh, the same
When
thing.
I was 5 years old, blah
Blame.
blah blah. You did this,
Blame.
and that's why I'm like
Yeah.
this. I do drugs because you gave me childhood trauma. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
You need depression and anxiety
Yeah.
because of trauma.
Yeah. Ask Dylan, right? Why are you stealing my car? Well, because of you. You will lend me. You're not smart enough to then catch me. Right? Why do you swindle money out of other people, innocent
I
people?
still try to like antagonize my mom a little bit. Like it's hard.
So it's a blame game all around. Blame, 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 blame. And this family is dysfunctional, broken, chaotic, hurt, pain. Right? No compassion, no love, nothing. The problem is that too, is as the church tried to thrive in the community, churches are made of what? Families, right? But if families are broken like this, and which a lot of the families are, by the way, guess what's happening to the church?
Broken too.
Broken church. And broken churches gather, the society will what? Falls apart. If the families are breaking apart, church cannot hold that. Church will be broken. Right? Church will break. And because church is breaking, the society will break. And the society will go into chaos. So do you see how this innocent blame could literally ruin societies? How it's breaking things apart. How it starts so, like quicksand. It starts so innocent. So innocent and so nothing. Just go ahead. It's nothing. Oh no, it's only small blame. It's small. Just blaming each other. But we share that blame. We teach next generation how to blame. And then the next generation grows up, then blame the older generation. And then that pattern continues. As it continues, it spreads. As it spreads, it breaks down the society itself. The church no longer able to stand. So let's take away the blame. Let's take away those blames. The evil power of blame, let's take away. Then what would happen? If they own up to their mistakes, what would happen?
Start having empathy for people.
Yes.
A conversation.
The community is still strong.
Love, strength,
Passion.
compassion. All these things that will do what? Lift each other up. And then the communication will happen. Yeah, restore. We start to speak again. Start to listen to each other again. We start to listen to each other's pain. struggles. Instead, you suck. No, you suck. You suck even harder. Arr! But it's just, and then that compassion, empathy, strength, and love will go down to the next generation. Next generation will grow up bringing more of that. And that will bring families together. And then families will strengthen the church, and the church will strengthen the society.
But what if you only have one of the parents that's only has the empathy, strength, and love, and what the others just still continue blaming?
Yeah. Good question. So, what if I'm by myself? Right? But you're not never alone, are you? You do have a family. Or sometimes just friend. Or sometimes a church. So if you feel alone, then you're not doing it right. You're not seeking help.
I mean, I was alone when I first got out of jail. I didn't have anybody.
I mean, you have people.
I didn't have nobody.
I mean,
I
you
knew-
have mom, right?
She was not at first.
Not at first, yeah, but
I did, but I already had a plan. I went to a program that was full of people that had compassion.
well, yeah,
I started my family.
yeah, you have church, you have different families.
You got to seek out your families
Yeah,
sometimes.
it's not like I'm alone, therefore I'm a loner. You gotta seek.
Yeah.
There is the support is always there.
See, here's the thing though, like for example, for my dad, he does have family, he does have friends, but my mom took him away from all of them, like from far distant, and he has nobody here. So he's alone. He does have the church, but the church, you could say, side with her because it's her side of the family, and he's still alone. So
I mean, so in that case, I don't know how much he put in effort into to seek out.
Yeah, you find there's church on every block, every
no,
corner.
he finally
almost.
he finally got the opportunity to reach his other side of family from his dad's side in Minnesota, but my mom's the one that stopped him from reaching his side of family.
Yeah, and so if you look at more macro view, right? Here's God, right? God, here's me, right? God will send somebody that's right for me. You know what I mean? If you seek God, then God will send you people that you need in your life.
I don't feel like there's ever any hopeless. I mean,
No.
No, it is
like if I had no family, nobody right here, right now, I could go somewhere and start a whole new family.
It's also about who you pick. If
Who you pick,
if
yeah.
you're picky, then you're probably gonna miss a lot of people that would actually be compassionate towards you. Because I've met people that have people around them that want to be compassionate and that want to get to know them, but then they're picky. They're like, oh, they're not the type of people I want to hang out with.
Well, he found his family. He found good close friends that he didn't even know they were here. He found a cousin that was here. I mean, he found one of his best friends that was here in California, but they're not in South. They're up in Marysville and Yuba.
Yeah.
So you found them.
It's important that this has to establish first, right? If this is established well, then this side will come naturally.
Yeah.
It will. I
Because
get
if
it.
it's not, it'll be a struggle. You'll be like running, seeking all the wrong relationships.
Yep. Because if you do this right,
Yeah. You'll have no problem.
you will never have.
No.
God will send you all the people.
You'll be
you
open to like
Yeah.
new relationships, new friendships, all that.
With all
So like
types of
me,
people.
I have nobody, no family here.
Oh, see.
I'm alone here.
Yeah, me
Totally
too.
alone.
But the thing is, like, for example, somebody close to me, for example, she will only look for friends within a certain age group and her own race. And then it's
that's
like,
hard.
she closes herself off to, what, like 80% of the world just from race, and then her own age, that's another, what, 20, like like 60% from that 20%, and then expects to find people.
Well, that's
not
because
how
she
you,
doesn't have a connection with
I know
God.
exactly. That's not how you find people. And so if you're here and you only want relatives to be your support group, or if you only want certain race or certain types of people, then you're cutting yourself off from